Sometimes, if you listen really hard, you can almost hear it.
Our first ever instant star is...
You're it, girl. You're the real thing.
That moment your life changes.
It's about a girl who is just about to fly off and see the world.
Forever.
Jude Harrison!
Hello and welcome to the Breakdown, an Instant Star Rewatch podcast. As always, I am joined by my co-host Sam.
And I'm here with Chloe.
And today we are recapping episode 107, I Want to Be Your Boyfriend. What were your thoughts on this episode?
Once I wasn't crazy about the main plot. It was kind of the subplots that I really liked. The main plot was like interesting, but at this point I'm kind of like, okay, Shay, it's time to move on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you could like Shay in this episode.
Yeah, no. There's no liking of Shay in this episode.
No, we'll get into all of that.
Yes.
Original air date, February 27th, 2005, or August 5th, 2005 in the US. What was your Amazon Prime synopsis?
Jude landed her first official boyfriend, and it doesn't hurt that he's a uber famous rapper. She can't keep him separate from the rest of her world forever. So Jude invites Shay to the school dance and dinner with the family.
That pretty much sums it up.
Yeah.
My recap. Jude finally feels like she has everything together. Recording her album, school, Tommy is her producer, and her official relationship with Shay. Her personal relationship with Tommy, however, is fracturing because Tommy thinks Jude is losing focus on her music due to Shay. Kat wishes she could see more of Jude, who is now spending all of her time with Shay, so Kat suggests they go to the spring fling dance at school. Sadie runs into Tommy and tries to convince him to go out with her. Despite their chemistry, he passes on the offer. Jude, however, has better success asking Shay to her high school dance, as does Kat, who also convinces Jamie to come to the dance. Tommy congratulates Shay on his world tour announcement, and T-Bone reminds Shay what the number one rule of the road is: no attachments. Shay hasn't yet told Jude, so he turns up at her house for family dinner, acting like everything is normal. That would have worked, except Tommy shows up to give Jude the demo of her new song, and Sadie invites him to stay for dinner. At dinner, Tommy announces Shay's tour, to Jude's surprise, and anger at Tommy, not Shay. Tommy reminds Jude that a world tour means a different girl in every city, but Jude doesn't believe him. Sadie and Tommy get stuck with a very drunk Stuart, so Tommy agrees to take Sadie out. They end up at karaoke where Sadie sings a Boys Attack song to Tommy. Jude and Shay go to the school dance, but Shay gets preoccupied with signing autographs for fans. When they do get some time alone, Jude asks Shay about the tour. Shay says he leaves in a week and Jude can't believe he hasn't told her yet. Shay leaves Jude to perform a song for the dance, so Jude asks T-Bone what the number one rule on tour is. T-Bone tells her that Shay has to break up with her before tour, and Jude's fears are confirmed. Meanwhile, Kat and Jamie are getting closer, but Jude hasn't noticed yet. Tommy drops Sadie off at home, and despite their fun night, he rejects her goodnight kiss because he doesn't want to hurt Jude. Sadie reminds Tommy that Jude can look after herself. Jude is back in the studio finishing off recording Your Eyes. Shay comes in and reassures Jude that he's not going to break up with her before tour. Quest is surprised that Tommy hasn't warned Jude about Shay, but Tommy reaffirms Sadie's words, saying that Jude can look after herself.
Yep.
I mean, where do we begin?
Yes.
What did you think the theme was of this episode?
I think, well, with all of them, with Shay, communication is a big one.
Yeah.
Acceptance and trust were two big ones I got too.
I had honesty as well, because
Yes.
Shay is not being honest.
No.
I mean, do you think that, Shay and Jude are apparently officially together now? What are your thoughts on that? Like, do you think are Shay's intentions finally good and this is just not his fault?
And okay, so I know this is like a TV show and everything is totally different in TV land, but war tours don't come together in a few days. So I'm like, logically in my mind, he's known about this tour for a while.
Yep.
I mean, we're both really big fans of Taylor Swift, and she talks about how it takes her a year to put a tour together.
Yep. Yeah, there would have been talks and negotiations.
Yeah, so this is not like a drop of a hat thing, like they're making it seem. So there were plenty of opportunities for him to come. And as an artist, if you drop a new CD, you're automatically going to go on tour anyway. Yeah. And he would have known this from his past 2 CDs.
Yeah. And so obviously in the last episode, he was saying that he didn't want to be her boyfriend. And now he's like, I do want to be your boyfriend. So do you think that he was not telling her to protect her? Because I don't like Shay in this episode, but I couldn't figure out if he didn't want to tell her because he knows what the number one rule is. So he was protecting her, or if he didn't want to tell her because he's just a dick. And
I think it's a little bit of both. I think he didn't want to tell her because he knows what the number one rule is, but I think he also didn't want to tell her because he's a 17-year-old boy who thinks with his dick.
Yeah. Well, what do you think about Tommy telling Jude instead then? Because in the whole episode, he's kind of seeing himself from Boys Attack, like mirrored in Shay.
Oh, okay. So I loved his line to Chris in the beginning of the episode when he's like, oh, how do you say it? He didn't.
What is he seeing? What does she see in him? I was Shay.
Yeah. Well, he basically tells Chris, I don't see myself in Shay. I was Shay.
Yeah.
I love that line because that speaks to both Tommy and Shay. It's finally Tommy admitting on camera to the audience that he doesn't have a good past, and he really is trying now to be more mature and have a better outlook and relationships and stuff like that.
Yeah, and in the kitchen with Jude, he says, when I was on the road, I had a different girl in every city.
Every city, yeah.
Like, ooh.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, I don't know if I would have admitted that, but okay.
So then why is Tommy going so far to try and, like, once again, he's stepping in, he's protecting Jude. If he was just her producer, he wouldn't do that.
No. Which I like because season 1 lays a lot of groundwork for Jude and Tommy for later seasons. It's just having to get through season 1 and a couple episodes of season 2.
Yep.
To see all the groundwork that was laid and how it plays out, even up to season 4.
Yeah.
And so I almost like that Tommy was the one that announced Shay's tour, just because in his own roundabout way, even though it was kind of a dickish move how he did it, he was doing it to protect Jude.
Yeah. Yeah, but if you look at it from like, oh, he's just a producer, everything he's doing for her is above and beyond.
Yeah. Like, if Tommy was supposed to strictly be just her producer, then he's crossed so many lines.
Yeah. But G Major also puts him in that place. Like, hey, Tommy, go to Darius's house and convince him to give Jude the cover. Like, why?
Yeah.
Or convince Jude to go and apologize to Shay. Like, that was all G Major.
Right. Why are they making her producer do all this when you would think that, G Major has a publicist and they have a person to handle stuff like this, or
yeah, that's EJ's job.
Yeah, I'm like, EJ should be doing this stuff, but okay.
Yeah. So I did love Tommy once again, jumping in and saving her. But also I liked how Jude stood up for herself and said, I don't need you to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she does.
I think,
but
yeah. Well, it was interesting because a couple of episodes ago, what song was it? I don't remember what episode. I think it was like 2 episodes ago, maybe 3. But Tommy had a line where he said something about something, but at the end of the line he said, and I'll be left picking up the pieces off the ground again.
Yeah.
And so now it's kind of showing situations that we hadn't seen before where he is picking up the pieces, where he does kind of like cushion the fall so there's not so many pieces that have to be put back together.
Yeah, absolutely. Well then, what are your thoughts on the Sadie and Tommy storyline that's happening in this episode? Because as much as I don't like them, I actually really liked their chemistry in this episode.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, I can't stand them as a couple, but like they have chemistry.
Yeah.
Which is really weird. But it's interesting to see, like, his chemistry with Sadie is completely different than his chemistry with Jude.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting to see both parts. And something I noticed in this episode is he plays hot and cold with both of them. Because he played really hot and cold with Sadie in this episode.
Yeah, flirting with her, talking Italian, and then being like, no, I don't want to go out with you.
No, I'm busy.
Yeah.
I'm just like Tommy.
It's interesting because his chemistry with Sadie, it makes sense and it works, but I feel like his chemistry with Sadie is very kind of surface level.
Yeah.
And then with Jude, their chemistry runs so much deeper than that, but he can't do anything about it.
Right. I want to say something, but I'm like, I'm a week too early.
Yes, don't say anything. We don't know what happens.
No, we don't.
Well,
so
we do, but we don't.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
No. I do like how, I mean, how bad is it for Sadie to like be rejected for a goodnight kiss?
I know.
Because of your little sister. Like, if that happened to me, I'd have been like, oh my God.
I would have been like, I would have just gone in the house and be like, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah, like, hang on, why do you care about my 15-year-old sister?
Yeah.
But I do like how Sadie said, she's a big girl. She can look after herself.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, and when she said that, it's interesting because for me, that was like, I mean, she said it for reasons why she said it, obviously. But it's also, in a way, I took it for her standing up for Jude and telling Tommy, you don't have to protect her from everything.
Yeah.
It was kind of a way of Sadie like defending Jude and saying, let her breathe a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, then, as usual, we're kind of pulled back into the real world again with Kat and Jamie. I thought their storyline was kind of cute this episode.
For two people that I'm not the biggest fans of, I really like their storyline in this episode.
And I like them together as well.
Yeah, it's really weird. Like, for two people who I'm not that much of a big of a fan of, I really like them together.
Same. Yeah. Yeah, they have good chemistry as well, but Jamie's so hung up on Jude that he just...
Yes.
But I do like how they always add like a sense of normality into every episode.
Mm.
It's like, hey, this is what's happening at school.
Yeah.
Let's get into our likes and dislikes. What were your likes?
My likes Tommy's wardrobe. I love
Didn't even notice.
I love like the little zip up track jacket with the hat. He looks really good in a hat.
He does.
Sadie and Jude's wardrobe as always.
As always.
I think the family dinner was just so awkward. It was funny and I liked it.
Yeah.
And okay, even though I'm not a fan of his character, I like Shay going to the school dance with her.
I have some thoughts about that later on.
Yeah, I mean, I have thoughts on it, but I did think it was kind of cute that he tried to like normalize going to his school dance.
Yeah.
And then I just put Jamie and Kat.
I had Tommy being once again jealous, like I was Shay.
Yes.
Tommy and Sadie's chemistry.
Yes.
Tommy looking out for Jude, because basically every episode so far he's done something like that.
Yeah.
And Tommy rejecting Sadie because he doesn't want to hurt Jude. I mean, if I was Sadie, I'd be upset, but I liked how he did that. I had one dislike.
Okay.
Which was Shay acting like a normal life isn't fun or a good thing. Like, yes, he went to the dance, but he kind of felt surprised that he was invited, and he was like, oh, could be a trip, see how the other half live. It's like, dude, you're 17.
Yeah.
I get that you're a massive, famous hip-hop star, but I don't know, I felt like he was kind of forced into it.
Yeah, and when he was like, why do you even go to school? Haven't you heard of tutors like the rest of us?
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, no.
Yeah, and Jude says, I guess it's my parents' way of keeping me normal.
Yes. Mine were Shay's Hot and Cold, Road Rule #1, and Tommy being hot and cold with Sadie. I'm just like, he's so hot and cold this season. Damn it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember what he's like in season 2 very well. I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
But I do remember, even though we haven't seen the episodes allegedly, I do remember for the rest of season 1, he's pretty hot and cold with everyone.
Yes.
Gets worse.
Yeah.
What were your funnies?
Sadie singing Pick Up the Pieces.
Why did I not have that? If Laura really sung that, then kudos to her. Like,
yes.
I think she did.
Tommy sunglasses and MP3 player.
I still have my Walkman MP3 player. It's like
nice.
About that big, and it still works. Like, I love it.
Nice.
I mean, I don't use it, but I love it. My funnies, the awkward family dinner. Love it.
Yes.
I love how they filmed that. I found it funny how the dance is called the Spring Fling and it has a bling theme. But when they walk into the room, it's like just it's like a
It looks
spaceship.
like an aluminum foil.
Yeah. It's like, what's happening? Is that what they think bling is? Like, to me, bling is like diamonds.
Yes.
And then Cat's dancing, that was funny too.
Yes.
Oh, she's so cute.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have any what the fuck moments?
I just put dance decor.
I had a few. When did Shay and Jude become a real couple? At the beginning, she
Yeah.
says she's officially with him. Like, why didn't we see that? Like, the last episode, they kissed at the end. Cool, but that was kind of for a music video.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I guess it was one of those things that happened off screen that you were supposed to just be like, oh, okay.
I guess so. But it would have been nice after Shay had said, I don't want to be your boyfriend, to see him actually say he wants to.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe would have made him look less dickish.
Yeah. Maybe.
You know when Shay is at Jude's house and he's blasting the music?
Mm-hmm.
And that lady comes out of the house and looks really angry. Is that Jamie's grandma?
It might be.
Like, that's the only time we see her, but
I think it is because she comes out of that house.
yeah.
We
Just
do
like,
see Jamie's grandma.
yeah, like we hear so much about her later on.
Yes.
What the fuck are Jamie and Kat writing on the chalkboard in class? Like, why is everyone up at the front? We never did that.
Nice.
Did you?
Yes.
Oh, maybe it's an American thing.
Oh,
Enlighten
God,
me.
I
What were you
hated,
doing?
like math equations or projects, or we had to stand in front of the class a lot. I didn't like it.
I mean, we had to stand in front of the class, but not right on the chalkboard.
Oh yeah, we had to go up and like solve math equations and stuff.
That was okay. That was bizarre to me. You've interpreted it for me. Thank you.
It was horrible.
Oh, then my last what the fuck moment is: did Tommy drive drunk to take Sadie out? He'd been drinking wine, like in the previous scene. He was pouring wine into his glass.
Yeah.
Just a thought.
Well, and her dad says something about only three of them are old enough to drink it too.
Yeah, and as Stuart's kind of getting the drunk Dylan vinyls out, Tommy's pouring what looks like a very empty bottle of wine into his glass.
Yes.
Hmm. Who was your hero and who was your villain?
Hero took me a long time.
Oh, really? I was just like, done.
I mean, now that I like have one, I was like, I can't believe it took me so long. It was obvious, but I battled with it because he was just so hot and cold. But I picked Tommy.
Same. I mean, he has to be the hero when he's trying to do the right thing for Jude.
Yes.
Who was your villain?
Shay.
Same, but I actually took a long time because I struggle with whether he really was the villain or if he was just, a kind of clueless 17-year-old being like, oh, what does it matter if I don't tell you about tour? Like,
yeah.
I don't think he was trying to be villainous, so to speak, but still, it came off wrong.
Yes.
Let's get into the song review for Your Eyes. I am a really harsh song grader. Like, I gave it 7 out of 10. I wanted to give it an 8, but I was just like, yeah, no, it got 7.
That's what I gave it. So
okay. I know a lot of people like adore this song, and I really like it, but I just don't think it's one of the best.
Right.
It's good, and I love how Alex sings it, but it's not one of my top favorites.
And
it's about Shay. So
yeah, I'm like, and the thing is there's a couple of songs throughout the series that I don't think fit with how they wrote it into the show.
Yeah.
And for me, this is one of them.
Yeah.
I'm like, out of all the songs that they had for season 1, they gave Your Eyes to Shay.
Actually, I agree with you, but as someone who has written songs, I mean, when I look back at some of the songs I've written about guys who should not have had songs written about them, like wonderful, lovely songs, I'm like, ugh, why? Why was that person ever allowed to have a song like that written by me? Like, so I feel like it's kind of maybe mirroring that, like, Jude's so in love, it's her first real boyfriend, and I'm gonna write the best song about you. Maybe.
That makes sense.
He doesn't deserve it, but
that makes sense.
Yeah, so we gave it a 7. I think that's a good grade. It's tough for me to give anything a 9 or a 10, but I know some songs are gonna get a 9 or a 10.
Yeah. I'm like, there's 3 songs coming up that I'm just gonna be like, boom, boom, boom.
I can't think of the third one. Don't tell me, I need to figure it out. I know 2. Did you have anything for pop culture?
No.
There was a few in this episode.
I always miss the pop cultures.
I always find too many, I think. I'm like, really? Is that a pop culture? Okay, I'll run through it. So, first of all, the episode title is a song by the Ramones, I Want to Be Your Boyfriend, released as a single in 1976. Way before our time.
Yes.
Tommy says Billboard's MP3s and Adobe Espresso. Billboard is an American music and entertainment magazine published weekly. Always wanted to buy a copy of Billboard. Have you ever got one? Is it worth it?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting.
I feel like it's just one of those classic American magazines that I always wanted to own.
Yes.
Jude says to Shay that his song should be less Sly Stone, more Sly and Robbie. Sly Stone is an American musician famous for his role as the frontman for Sly and the Family Stone. I've never heard of them.
No.
Sly and Robbie are a Jamaican rhythm section and production duo associated primarily with reggae and dub genres. Didn't know that.
No.
Shay gives Sadie and her mum Hermes, which is a French luxury goods manufacturer, established in 1837. What? Jude says to Tommy, maybe he was just waiting for a good time to tell me Nancy Drew. Nancy Drew is a fictional character from the Nancy Drew mystery stories. She was always determined to solve a mystery and help others. And then Stuart says to Tommy, he shows him the Montreal 75 vinyl when Dylan opens with When I Paint My Masterpiece. This was from a concert which was part of the Rolling Thunder Revenue Tour by American singer-songwriter Bob Dylan. That's it for pop culture. What was your favorite quote? I had 2.
Mine was actually a Jamie Cat one. It was, we're just 2 friends having fun.
Okay. I had Sadie saying to her mum, it's baked Alaska, not nuked Alaska.
Yes.
And Jamie saying, we came, we drank punch, we felt pains of alienation. I think our job here is done.
Yes.
I can relate to that. What was your hashtag iconic?
The Jamie Cat and Jude dancing.
I had that too. Yeah. And the family dinner, because I just thought,
yes,
everyone's awkwardness.
Yes.
Amazing. Let's spin the wheel for most likely to. Most likely to get stuck scrolling on Instagram for a while? Sadie.
Sadie, yeah.
I feel like she would just be the social media queen.
Yes.
Can you imagine her with like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok?
Oh my gosh.
Amazing.
That would be the first time I followed a fictional character on social media.
Yes. Oh, love it. Well, that was our recap of episode 107. Oh, next we have
No.
108.
108.
I mean, if people do not understand the magnitude of 108, I don't know what to
It's
tell
gonna
you.
be a long one.
Yeah, we're gonna do a deep dive on 108 for sure. Oh, can't wait.
Yes. I'm so excited.
The last 7 episodes have just been leading up to 108.
Yes.
Love it. Well, thank
So
you.
excited.
So excited too. Thank you so much for listening, as always. And yeah, look forward to our 108 recap. Talk to you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you for listening to The Breakdown, an Instant Star Rewatch podcast. The Breakdown was produced by me, Chloe, and Neon Network Production. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and listen to all episodes of The Breakdown on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. See you next time.